Having built up a large portion of the town in the previous episode, this episode I aim to fully complete the inner town before moving on to the town wall and the battlefield. The last remaining areas to work on are the event space next to the castle, as well as the front side of the main road through the town. We will begin with the event space. I wanted to build a jousting tournament here for all the princes of the other kingdoms visiting this town. I am placing the minifigures right from the start, since this lower seating area will be difficult to access once it is built up. These are the nobility of the Lion Knight's kingdom, such as the lords, the Earl Marshal and the Master at Arms. This is meant to be a newly built structure for this tournament, so I didn't introduce too much weathering here, just a few spots of dark tan. And I wanted to keep it in theme with the town, with the partial stone built lower structure and the wooden upper level. To avoid making it look like just a plain brown structure, I used medium nougat for decking and the railings. I saved the shield pieces from the town square set to decorate this build. We also have some of the Lion Knight's colors hanging from the upper level and some spots of gold for the royal look. The upper level is reserved for King Leo, the Queen, the Princess, and the King's Guard protecting them. For the roof, I went with dark orange and medium nougat to match the colors of the shingles on the Lion Knight's castle. The roof features a prominent wooden log raking design with large protruding ends. It is built using the four-sided snot brick, the rounded 1x1 bricks, with bar and clip pieces holding it together. The brackets I placed earlier on the arch pieces holds the roof in place. I have prepared this space for the build, and after placing it, a few more details needed to be added, such as railings, statues, and the tilt with sigils and colors of all the kingdoms partaking in this tournament. As well as the audience stand, which is a simple build, but stays in theme with the main build. There aren't any tent builds, since all the princes already have their own lodgings, and there isn't enough space up here for them as well. We will come back to the tournaments later in the story segment of this video. Now we will move on to complete the main road within the town. I decided to remove all the grass in this area and paved all of it in advance, since at this point you've probably seen about 20 time lapses of me doing paving work in this series. In the previous episode, we have a group of forestmen attempting to steal from the tax collector. It seems like one of them has been caught and placed on a pillory to be made an example of. Of course, pillories go hand in hand with rotten tomato vendors. I used these red apple pieces to represent the tomatoes. His customers are having a good old time practicing their throwing arm on the unfortunate forestmen whilst listening to the tunes of the bard. I built 2 more statues for this area as well. These are a bit taller on a snot-built base, attached down with headlight bricks. The final build for this area is a livestock vendor from the farmlands. I wanted to make this look like a makeshift build to contrast with all the proper buildings around here, using bar and clip pieces for the fencing as well as the little structure holding up the top. I also built a cage for the chickens that he sells. Now for the final build. Last episode, I mentioned that the forestmen had a secret tunnel system to enter and exit the town. This is a section of those tunnels. The black panels represent a continuation of the tunnels, and this particular section is a larger open area for the forestmen to rest and make plans. To represent that these tunnels are dug out and not natural, I added wooden support structures holding up the tunnel with the arches and girder pieces. I gave it the wet and damp look since this tunnel is located near the water reservoir surrounding the castle. The scene down here are the forestmen making plans to free their captured brethren currently on the pillory. Not sure how they'll pull that off since it's right in the middle of town. The day of the commemorations has arrived. King Leo has organized a jousting tournament between the princes of all the kingdoms within the alliance. All 4 contestants are present, eager to display their chivalry and honor their lineage. We stand here today to celebrate the pact between our great nations and bid welcome the new faces present, King Leo announced. We have fought and we have bled. That is now history. A new chapter begins on this great day. There's no greater way to strengthen the bond between the future heirs of our kingdoms than through the gentleman's sport of jousting. I remind all that this is a friendly competition. All hatchets will be buried here in the list field. And one other thing, I will allow my daughter to hand a token of appreciation to the victor, unless it's my son, of course. The contestants are drawn and the process of elimination begins. The first pair are Prince Leandro and Prince Fosrith. Your Highness, might I remind you to act as if this competition is somewhat strenuous for you. We should start this new chapter on the right footing. They already know all bets have been placed on you, Lord Black suggested. Yes, I remember. You've been insistent on making this point. Leandro is a good friend, don't worry. However, if I do come up against Dracius in the finals, then I've got a score that needs settling, said Prince Fosrith. When I suggested starting things on the right footing, I was primarily referring to Prince Dracius, Your Highness, Lord Black refuted. Alright, don't fret. I was only bantering. I understand what's at stake, Prince Fosrith replied. As expected, and much to King Leo's delight, Prince Fosrith emerges victorious. You have all displayed great courage and honor here today. It is hardly surprising that the heir to the kingdom with the greatest standing cavalry in the realms of men has emerged victorious. I still remember the day your father defeated me decades ago. You truly are King Folteir's son. "You may receive a token from my daughter," said King Leo. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Prince forthwith replied. And with that, the commemorations are concluded. Meanwhile, down below, a battle has erupted. The Wolfpack Brotherhood are raiding the Forestmen's tunnels. "Remember, brothers, when the job is done, we must leave this town immediately through these tunnels," said Deadeye Dixon. "The Easterner told me the orcs are vicious creatures. They have a seething hatred for all men and will not care which sigil is on our chests." "If the orcs kill all humans on sight, wouldn't they kill the ones employing us too?" Baron Fastfingers asked. I asked him that, and he said they would. But he has his own roles to fulfill elsewhere. "We're in this alone, brothers," Deadeye Dixon replied. "Sounds like the orcs and the Easterners have a complicated relationship. Why don't we just make off with the half payment we've already been given?" Nine Lives Alfredo refuted. "Because we have a reputation to uphold. The fact that the Easterner warned us about the orcs tells me two things. First, he does plan on paying us in full. Second, we may have a return customer out of this that pays more than all the small jobs we've been getting combined. So I want all of you on top form when the day comes. Alfredo, take it easy this time. We won't have the time to drag you out of this one," said Deadeye Dixon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.